Tenant when I was 21. Lovely little old couple, pleasant, sweet. God, did they see me coming? Oh, they took me to the cleanest well and truly. Essentially, I was doing everything on the cheap. I cut all the expenses, especially expenses that involved getting legal advice and professional advice like freelance. What I was trying to do essentially was similar to learning to fly a plane by getting in, taking off, getting up to 20,000 feet, and then when the engine cuts out, start looking for help. So there I was, solicitor's office, haven't seen any rent for ages, little old couple have been giving me some sob stories, and instead of doing a Section 8, which is essentially a note that you serve your tenant when they haven't paid rent, give them a Section 8. You've got to take that action. Oh no, they were a nice old couple and they had problems with their housing benefit. So, picture the scene, it's a dusty old solicitor's office and I'm paying through the nose. I'm sat there and I'm looking up at this learned old gentleman, this long before I joined the court system, and he mentioned that I'd contravened this section in property law, ID10T. Looking back now, after years, 18 years in the court service, I'm surprised that more people in property don't know about section ID10T. So write it down and I'll walk you through it. First two letters, ID, identification, 10, T. Yeah, you again, essentially idiot. That was me. Nice old couple had knocked on my door, given me a deposit, and checked their backgrounds, didn't know where they were from. I took an inventory. Oh yes, I took an inventory. Come back to that later. What I should have done, as soon as they were late on their rent, I should have served the Section 8 and backed it up with Section 21, which essentially terminates the tenancy regardless. If you've got a bad tenant and you want to get shot at them and you just use the Section 8, they can have that overturned on the court steps by just bringing in enough cash to get rid of the rent arrears. And if you've got somebody that's got bad habits paying your rent, you would just want to get rid of them, back it up with Section 21. You can actually get the Section 21 signed as you're putting them in the property to start up with. So never do a Section 8 on its own. So that's what I should have done. I sat there, I am approximately now 4 months behind on my rent. Paying the mortgage, my mortgage, out of my own money, and this lovely little old couple are enjoying the benefit of my house. Fantastic. Should have gone and taken possession, but luckily I didn't have to do that because they absconded. They left, owed me rent, and left my property. Didn't leave me my furniture though. That was nice. I did have an inventory, everything was listed. Oh, you're going to love this bit, and I'm sure there's going to be a few people that can appreciate this. I was only going to rent out quality property. So I had solid wood furniture. I had nice black ash cupboards and wardrobes, matching throughout. When I returned, everything on the inventory was there, including half my fitted kitchen. I didn't think it warranted to put in a fitted kitchen on the inventory, but oh my God, they levered that baby off the wall. Instead of my solid wood table, chipboard. Instead of my black ash wardrobe, fabric wardrobe. But it was a wardrobe and it's what was on my inventory because I hadn't backed it up with any photographs. Nothing I could do. If I could go back now I would give myself such a grilling. The solicitor gave me the bit that really killed me. These guys took me for nearly £3,000. And he said, there is nothing you can do. It's the first thing you need when you're collecting money, when you're chasing money through your courts, is to know who your tenant is. And I did not have a clue. Nice old couple come to my door and gave me a deposit. Not a chance of getting money out of them. I didn't take copies of their passports, didn't take copies of their driving licences, didn't take any references, didn't chase up any previous addresses. How am I possibly going to get money out of them if they abscond? So, yes, oh, that was a learning experience. What a doozy. But essentially, you do get people that have absconded and you want to collect the money, but it's so simple. You just need to go to moneyclaim.gov.uk. You fill in there who owes you the money, why they owe the money, and the website, the court system does the rest for you. They serve all the papers. Now this is a little gem I'm going to leave you with. If somebody absconds owing you money, you do not have to find them to sue them. It is good service to serve the papers on your own property. Yeah, I know it's empty and they've absconded, but as far as the court's concerned, it's good service to serve the papers on the last known address. Yes, it's your empty flat, it's your empty house, but good service is last known address by first class post. So don't worry about tracing them, get that judgment against them, and then when you've got the judgment, then go after them. They have no chance to dispute, and that's perfectly legal. Quick question. Is there a time limit? 6 years. And the judgment itself is worth another 6 years. So it could actually go 12 years. So I've got time for one more question? Yep. Does it apply in Scotland? Scottish law is virtually the same as English law, but in a funny accent. They've got exactly the same set procedures, but just different ways of implementing them. It's easier actually to get a judgment in Scotland and it's cheaper, but then you can't dictate how that's enforced. One of my specialities is if you've got a county court judgment valued over £600, I can transfer that up to the High Court and I can get that enforced quicker and with more tenaciousness, with more power than a bailiff. And I can get you your money, and our success rate is normally 96p in the pound within 5 weeks. Whereas a bailiff is a lot lower because it's a salaried civil servant and he gets his money at the end of the month regardless. Scotland, it's the sheriff that decides what the enforcement is and you've got no way of intervening with that. It's strictly down to him. But yeah, it's the same, pretty much. One more. Oh, go on, go on. You've got a tenant that's run off to Scotland owing you money from England. Get a judgment here, and there are ways of getting that judgment enforced in Scotland. I wish they went off to Portugal, because there is ways within the European community to enforce judgments within the European Union. The only two countries that don't recognise their own either judgments in the EOP scheme is Scotland and England. That's a doozy. And just one more. Yep. Got a judgment on a person and they're falling off the radar. You come and find me, because I can trace people. You certainly can have my information. In fact, you're probably sitting on it. There's a lovely piece of paper with a handsome chap on the back. You'll see my website there. So yeah, I can trace people for you. And as long as you've let the right person into your property, people that have got assets, then we can normally get your money back out of them. If it's a bit of a scallywag, then you really shouldn't be letting out such kind of people in the first place. Thank you very much. It's been lovely.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you.
No, you're transferring the judgment to the High Court. 50 quid, rubber stamp. I did that.